Hi guys, Billy back, and this time we're going to be looking at the infamous 1/6 scale Space Wizard, aka Ebony from the Black Order from Avengers Infinity War. Now this was a figure that Hot Toys never got around to making, so this company called Infamous, who I suspect are probably in a subsidiary of maybe Toys Era or Susu Toys, maybe one of those two, have decided to go ahead and make this figure. But you can't tell Marvel, and you definitely don't want to tell Hot Toys. It's just a matte black box. It's also got a spot gloss finish with a sort of silhouette of the figure itself there. Got the Infamous logo there, and we've got the name of the figure, which is Space Wizard. It is not, I repeat, not Ebony Moore. Don't know where you heard that rumor. It's definitely not that. There is absolutely, well, there's not much on the side other than a silhouette of the Black Order itself. I'm not sure if it shows up very well. It's very, very faint. I think that's a bit too faint. They might want to have actually gone over and done like a spot gloss print on the side here as well to make that stand out a little bit more. Then on the back, we've got ourselves a lovely image of the Black Order in a sort of Photoshop outline style. Got some sort of stellar space effect in the background. The Infamous logo again, and all the warnings you probably would want with this figure, aka don't give it to kids, it's an adult collectible and only for grown-ups. And then on the other side again, the same sort of Black Order design there. Now I have to try and bring this down because it's really, really big, but you've got Infamous Space Wizard just on the bottom, and on the top I suspect you've got the same. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's it. Let's just get this box open and have a look at what we get inside. Okay, inside we get a nice sort of foam insert. We take the top off and we can see we get the figure with a few extra hands, and I think that's about it. Do we get a stand with this? Yeah. Pull that layer off and there's a bottom layer and you get the stand, and that's about it. There isn't a lot to this figure, so let's actually unbox this guy and have a look at what he's like outside of the packaging. Okay, I could just sort of pull him out of the box and stand him up here like that, but let's be honest, you'll just want to have a look at the head sculpt first. So let's get a good gawp at that head sculpt, and I have to say I think they've done a really good job. This is really nice. They've got some nice texture in the skin here. They've even done some nice layering with the greys. It's slightly darker in the crevices than it is on the outside. We've even darkened the lines on the forehead. The eyes are nice and glossy. It's a pretty nice head sculpt. The hair, now there is a bit of an ugly gap between the hair and the seam of the head there, which is a bit of a shame, but when he's standing just about here or here, you don't really see it. It's not too big a deal. What I really like about the paint app on this is that they've actually given him sort of a slightly pinkish hue mixed in with the grey. It's like there's life underneath the grey sort of pale skin, which is how it looked in the film, and they did that as well. They could have just slapped this face with a load of grey paint, but they've actually gone in and tried to give him some of the slight pink hues like he did in the actual movie. So yeah, they get extra points for that in my opinion, because they really could have half-assed it, but they haven't. They've given him an extra layer of sort of life with that paint application. And yeah, when you see him standing on the shelf, looks like Ebony Moore, doesn't it? Yeah. So anyway, let's have a look at everything else he comes with before we actually have a poke around at the figure itself. These are the sort of hands he comes with. He comes with 4 hands. He comes with 2 fisted hands, both very, very similar. They have that sort of slight pink hue mixed in with the greys, and a sort of tinge of purple as well to give him that sort of alien sort of life look. And they've painted silver on all the jewellery, which is good. I do like that. It's a bit sloppy inside the creases of the fingers there, but nothing too bad. And the details are really nice. I like the wrinkles in the hand. You can see these have been sculpted and made for this figure. It's not like they just grabbed some stock hands and they went the full hog and sculpted hands for this. He's even got this really sort of cool pointing finger hand, make it look like he's doing some sort of psychic telekinesis stuff, which is really good. Or maybe he's just going to be going shh, which is really good, because if you remember in Infinity War, he shuts Thor up, puts a gag on his mouth, and then just goes shh, and it was quite creepy. I really like that bit. And he comes with a gripping hand. I'm not sure what he's supposed to grip. He doesn't come with any other accessories, but if you wanted him to hold another accessory, yeah, this could be it. Maybe he's grabbing Doctor Strange's cape or something like that. So yeah, that's really cool to have, just in case you want to pose him with other things. So yeah, he comes with 2 relaxed hands that he's already got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands and a stand, and that is it. As we can see on the stand, it's got this sort of, I don't know, this stone flooring effect. Maybe it's like the ground from Endgame or something like that. So just like rough terrain, and it's got a matte finish on it so it doesn't shine up, which is really good. Looks nice. And this is what I mean, I think it's Toy Zero because of this lack of a nameplate, but it looks like there should be a nameplate there. This is pretty much the same stand all Toy Zero figures come with, so that's my suspicions. It is Toy Zero, but just under a different name for some reason. But anyway, that's it for the accessories. Let's have a look at the figure itself. Now Ebony, I've already shown you the head sculpt, but let's have a look at the clothing. He's got this really nice sort of printed, sort of 3D printed sort of lycra rubbery suit on. And it works really well for this figure. It gives him that sort of spacesuit sort of look. It's got these lovely panel lines in here and everything like that. And this bit up top is separate from the rest of the suit, but it's sort of stuck down onto it, and it finishes just down here. So all this top part here is like a sort of really soft plastic. It's got all these lovely sort of gold lines and leafing in there. And then the rest of it is just sort of like a rubbery suit with 3D printed panels just on the outside. Looks okay, it looks really good, I think. My only criticism really is because it's so figure hugging, you can actually see the seam where his abs are here, and it you can't really get rid of that. You can futz with it and pull this down, but it seems to return to just around that sort of ab section, which is slightly annoying. Not a big deal, but just mildly annoying. And there is a really sort of really rubbery feel to this suit. It is like as soon as you touch it, you think you're reminded of elastic bands, you know. So it's quite a rubbery suit, which is okay. But I don't know the longevity of it, how long it will last. Who knows? Then he's got these gauntlets just down on the forearm here that look nice. They sort of fit over the hands really well. And the trousers also have a sort of rubbery feel to them. It's like the stretch fabric, but then there's like a layer of rubber over the top, which is okay. I think it will be great for this guy. And my only criticism is down here on the boots. They're really nicely sculpted, but here on this boot, the silver paint up the top here is sort of slapped on a little bit sloppily. Just over here it runs over the top, and it looks a little bit messy. Not only that, but I think they've re-gone over it because this silver here is a little bit brighter than this one here. So you can see there is a slight difference in the silvers on that boot, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. But yeah, the silver on the left is just a little bit brighter than the silver on the right. The rest of it looks okay. Panels are really nice. I like the buckles, they've painted them gold. And you know, the shoes look reasonably okay. Does he have tread? No. But then I'm not sure if this guy was supposed to have tread. Who knows? But yeah, let's have a look at the articulation. He can look up about that much. He can look down about that much. And he can turn his head to about there before the collar stops it, and turn it to about there before the collar stops it. And then you can see the hair is starting to get a bit futzy. It's very light and very thin. I think this might need a little bit of hairspray on it to hold, just so once you're moving it around it doesn't just frizz up all the time. Coming down into the shoulders, he can get more than a T-pose out, which is really, really good. Doesn't feel like there's a bicep swivel, I'm afraid, but then there is a butterfly joint. The arms can go back about that far. There is a double joint in the arm, but then it starts to look a little bit ugly all the way bent in. And then the hands are on wrist pegs, and they can fit on, and they can move up and down a little bit and turn a little bit, but you have to futz with these gauntlets in order to do that. Torso wise, he can bend about that far forward, he can bend that far back, but you can see it's all getting bunched up in here, so it could cause some damage if you leave him like that for too long. You can turn about that much, turn about that much before it starts to pull on the fabric. The legs can go up quite far, he can almost Van Damme it. He does have thigh swivel. There is a ratcheted double joint in the knee, so his legs can go up quite far. There is no calf rotation, but the feet are on foot pegs and they can go up and around, well, quite far really. A very generous amount of ankle pivot in my opinion. And rejoice, because Ebony Moore is here. And although he doesn't come with a lot of accessories, I actually think that Infamous have done a great job with this guy. He looks the part. You put him in with your Infinity War collection from Hot Toys and he's going to look good. This is the kind of level of detail I would want to expect from Hot Toys. Maybe they could have put like an underlayer suit here so you could hide that ugly seam in the body there. But other than that, and other than a slight sloppy paint job on the boot cuff here, the rest of it is really good. And considering it's half the price of a Hot Toy, you can't really complain, especially when it looks good enough to stand next to other 1/6 scale Hot Toys in your collection. And honestly, I'm really glad I picked this guy up. They've now teased the next one from the Black Order coming, which I think is Midnight. I'm not 100% certain. Yeah, her lady herself, Proxima Midnight, and they are actually going to be releasing her. And do you know what I really like about this figure? They teased this in May. They showed it going up for pre-order in May and they released it in August. I'm flabbergasted, because we're getting so used to waiting 2 years for our figures now, that the fact that they have dropped a figure within 3 to 4 months of actually putting it up for pre-order, I just rejoice, because it's very rarely heard of nowadays. So I'm really glad, and I hope that this is a trend going forward for Infamous. Like, they tease the figure and then within 3 months or 4, maybe even 5, it's out in the stores. And I'm more than happy to do that, because it stops you from forgetting where the hell you pre-ordered from. Because I've got pre-orders now at the moment, and I'm wondering, like, I keep having to check on my invoices to see where one thing is coming from and where one other thing is. And when I think it's being sent by one shop, it's actually being sent from another, and I'm just like, blah. So yeah, I'm getting a bit confused. So I'm really glad that they've got these short pre-order to release dates flying around the place, because the more they do that, the happier I am. Okay, let's just put him next to a few figures and see what he looks like standing next to other Hot Toys. Okay, and here he is next to Thor and Iron Man, and you can see that he still stands quite tall over them. So it is quite height specific. I do remember him being a tall boy, but he, you know, he towers over the pair of them, which I'm very happy about. And here is Cap standing next to him as well. So yeah, because he is quite a tall guy, it is nice to see him tower over the other figures in the Hot Toys range, especially for Infinity War. And here he is next to Thanos, and you can see that the pair look great together, and I'm really looking forward to the Proxima Midnight figure that they've teased now as well. That's definitely a day one pre-order, especially after seeing this guy. He is great. I wouldn't say he is perfect. There are a few, like I said, a few niggling things with him, but nothing that would get in the way of me buying these 1/6 scale Black Order figures from Infamous. And that's it. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you do me a favour now. If you can get the fuck out of my cave. I'm just going to put, I'm not even going to do anything. I'm just going to put this guy right here, and then I'm going to surround him with the other figures from Infinity War, and he's going to look awesome. Thanks a lot guys. Bye bye.